Nordic data center market has attracted more than $3 billion in investment in recent years. One of the largest investments in the region is the Smedvig Family, also investing in the colo operations provider Green Mountain. I'm joined now by Kristian, CEO of Green Mountain, who shed some light on what's happening in the market right now. Tor, thanks for talking to me. Yeah. How would you sort of categorize the investment trends in the Nordic region?
There's quite a lot of things going on in the Nordic at the moment, mainly because of the location we have. It's far north, the climate is cold, it brings efficiency to the data center business, as well with the sustainable part within the power production we have. I would say the Nordics, quite a lot of things going on in the Nordic, but I would say Norway is currently moving forward as we're the only country in the Nordic that has 100% fully renewable power production.
Okay, and that's interesting because it's probably what made the Smedvig family going to Green Mountain as well. So these guys, they manage about $1.4 billion in assets all around the Nordics and a bit around the world as well. What made them invest in Green Mountain? What was the business case there?
The business case was mainly that when they sold off the oil and gas assets back in 2006, they invested in a fund that had an ownership in Data4. So they started to follow the data center business quite early and saw the opportunity to do something in Norway because of the availability of power, the surplus of power we have, the sustainable production we have, and also the low cost area. So Smedvig saw that in 2007-8 and decided to also, in addition to the ownership in Data4, also to do something in Norway.
Okay, and how is this partnership going to continue?
The partnership with Smedvig is going to continue further on. Smedvig is following us, and they are the owner of Green Mountain. And we started in 2013 with the first data center. We opened a second data center in 2014, and we have plans of opening a third data center in the Oslo region next year.
Okay, well, that was my next question about the expansion plans, because you've also recently expanded your first two data centers and you're building the third one. What sort of broader expansion strategies do you have beyond even the Oslo data center?
Currently, we're growing one step at a time because we have to bring quality into the build-outs and handovers as well. So we've done quite a lot of expansion in the DC1 Stavanger facility. We're also expanding in DC2 Telemark, and now probably doing a third build in the Oslo region, meaning that we will have quite a lot of job to do in the next coming years. So that's the main strategy as it moves forward. We've also had internal discussions, should we, as well as some of our competitors are doing, move into the Nordics with Sweden and Denmark?
Yeah, that was my next question actually.
but we see the uniqueness of Norway and also the growing attraction with doing things in Norway. So our current plans are to grow within Norway, and we're currently looking into new potential sites in Norway to facilitate our further growth, if you look at it in a 3 years perspective.
So are we looking at sort of a portfolio of maybe 5 to 8 facilities in the next 5 years?
That could be a scenario.
Yeah. Okay. And then in terms of tenants or customers, how would you sort of split the percentage between enterprise customers and hyperscale? Are you getting any hyperscale business?
What we see, some of the hyperscalers are also going colo in addition to their own builds, and we're measuring the different segments we have. And if you look at the category with service providers and cloud players, their portion is about 50% of our business at the moment. We're also growing quite good in the high performance computing business. That's one of our strategic segments. Mainly at a facility in Telemark due to the uniqueness of power contract, meaning that we could be really competitive with a solution from that part. And as well with what we're doing with our cooperation with Schneider Electric, using prefabricated modular solution, where we're able to bring capacity to the market at a really quick time. We handed over a 3 megawatt facility just a month ago. That was built together with Schneider with a build time of 6 months.
Okay. And are you getting to the edge game as well? especially being so close with Schneider?
It's funny you ask about the edge, because what is the edge? You would say some of the hyperscalers are looking at Norway as the edge, building quite large facilities, and you have, let's say, a rack in the closet as the edge. I would say a lot of the business we do is related to the edge, as well a lot of the business is related to the edge, meaning that you need a lot of compute capacity to handle what's being gathered at the edge, and that is also happening in our data center. So we're in both segments, I would say.
And then quickly on sustainability, Norway and the Nordics as a whole are seen as an example, a prime example of renewable energy being used to power data centers. What message would you have to operators in other regions of the world? They're sometimes a bit skeptical into going to this, or they think it's too hard to get into renewable energy. What can you share with them?
I would say what was a little bit unique about Norway is the landscape and the way we're producing power. We have 100% renewable power production, all with hydro and wind. What's happening in the rest of Europe, there is a certificate market, meaning that you could buy a green certificate from those, let's say, sustainable providers and operate a data center in a country where the sustainable part is still not as high as we have to be to comply to the Paris Agreement. So I would say that with the growth the data center business we have to take a responsibility for the environment and also look into the areas where the power is being produced in a sustainable way.
Okay, and we are now at the Data Cloud 2019 in Monaco. You won an award during the Data Cloud Awards on June the 4th. What does this conference and the award mean to you as a business and even as a business person?
I would say at this conference is where everyone meets, and we're able to use 3 days here and have a lot of meetings, a lot of updates, meeting suppliers, partners, customers, and as well, when we're lucky to win an award for the achievements and for the work we've done in Norway, that's also a big
cherry on top of the cake.
It is. I would definitely say yes.
Right, well done. Thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget you can follow Data Economy on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and also visit the website on www.data-economy.com.